all sorts of different Asian flavor. Even when it comes to decorating your house, people are really into putting a touch of Asian into their homes. You don't have to do the whole house, maybe just a room or so. And Nicole at Petal Pushers is going to show us how to make a beautiful Asian-inspired bouquet.
Good morning, Amy. Today we put together a couple of Asian-influenced arrangements for you guys to take a peek at. The one that I've got right in front here is in one of those classic little white Chinese takeout containers that everybody is familiar with. There might even be a couple in your fridge right now. Depending on what's in them, though, you might want to get a nice clean one to put together this design. But all we did with this one is put a little plastic liner in it. I'm going to pull this out so you can kind of see how it's made. Little plastic liner that we drop down inside just to make sure it's nice and waterproof. Filled that with the floral foam, that green foam that everybody's familiar with, and then did an arrangement right in the top of that. Great little centerpiece for a table, a fun, petite little arrangement that guests could even take home at the end of the evening. For the arrangement itself, we used this, what's called fatsia foliage, this great green leaf, and what's wonderful about something like that is it covers a lot of the mechanics, and by the mechanics I mean that foam that's down inside the containers, the stuff that you don't want your guests to see. And then we've just tucked these beautiful red dahlias on top, which are a great choice because they're kind of that Chinese red, that red with that orange undertone, and these lime green button mums, which is a great contrast against the red. To finish this arrangement, what we're going to do is a little, what we call a bear grass loop, which is actually a look we wind up using a lot, even in bridal bouquets and things like that. This is bear grass that you can get from your local florist. And what we do is use what's called a little cowie pick. It's a little wood pick that's got this wire attached to it. It's great for inserting things into foam that can otherwise be kind of flexible and tough to tuck in there. So we take the pick, wrap it around the bear grass. Just make sure your wire ends are tucked in so you don't have a loose wire hanging out of the arrangement. And then on the other end, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of hold it up to the arrangement to gauge the distance I want and put another pick on the other end in exactly the same way. And once I've got my wire tucked around there, I'm going to grab my clippers here and cut this extra end of the bear grass that I know I don't need. But I am going to leave this more whimsical end in place. So I'm going to go in there with the end of the pick and find the foam underneath the flowers. Tuck that end in there. And then with this other end, I'm going to loop the grass around. I'll turn this so hopefully you can get a little better view. And tuck this end onto the other side. So I've created this loop of bear grass that kind of encases the arrangement. You could cut these ends off if you wanted to. I personally think it's kind of a cute effect when it spills onto the table like that, so I'm going to leave them in place there. But a great way to add a little element of motion to a design by just that little loop of bear grass on there. Moving on, we also put together a slightly more formal option for something a little bit more sophisticated. What makes this arrangement have kind of an Asian quality is, number one, the materials. The Cymbidium orchids have this beautiful, very zen-like quality to them. And what I always think works for me is the use of negative space. The fact that it's not all full of flowers, you're seeing between things and through things. We've got the gorgeous Cymbidium orchids. This here is equisetum or horsetail, and it's actually a product that grows here in northeastern Wisconsin, so it's funny that something like that can transform into something so exotic looking. Red roses and these beautiful fern curls that are a tropical product in there. By clustering more of the flowers at the base, we can create some visual weight down here and then work with the negative space up top. Beautiful option for something, again, a little bit more formal for your table.